Hello, everyone. I am Kleber. I am PhD in Entrepreneurship and AI. And with me in Scholarship Mentor, Catarina Miranda. Welcome to this preparatory class for university and college applications. I want you to explain to our students all the secret of GPA and how it affects in the application process. Welcome, Katarina.
Good morning, everyone. Take a deep breath. Seriously, do it. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Why? Because for the next 20 minutes, we're going to talk about the three scariest letters in the alphabet for the high schooler students. GPA. Grade point average. It sounds clinical, doesn't it? But I know that for many of you, this number feels like a judgment on your soul. You think, if I don't have a 4.0 GPA, I'm not getting into Stanford or Harvard. You think that one bad grade in the 10th grade chemistry has ruined your future. And I'm here today to tell you it hasn't. Today, we are going to demystify the GPA. We're going to look under the hood of the US admissions. By the time we leave this room, you will understand exactly how it's calculated and why it matters. And mostly important, how to handle it if your grades aren't perfect. We are going to turn this monster into a data point. Let's get started. What is a GPA? First, let's define terms. In the US, the standard scale 4.0 is an A, it's a 4. An F is a 0. It seems simple, but then you hear terms like weighted and unweighted. What is the difference? Unweighted GPA is purely measurement of performances. It don't care if you took advantage quantum physics or basket weaving. An A is a 4.0 in both. This number tells a university how well you mastered content, regardless or difficulties. Weighted GPA is where things get interesting. The measure performances plus rigors in the US system. If you take a AP class, an IB higher class, level class, or an honors class, that A might be worth a 5.0 or a 4.5. This reward for you for taking risks. Now, here is the golden rule for the international students. Context is king. If you're in school in Brazil or India or France, it doesn't offer the weighted GPA, do not invent one. USA universities employ regional admissions officers. These are people whose entire job is to understand the grading system of your country. They know that 14 out of 20 in the French system is excellent, even if it looks like a C or a 70 to Americans. They know that a 7 in IB is rare. So, lesson number one, do not try to convert your grades to the American 4.0 scale on an application unless the application explicitly asks you to. Sorry, guys. Your report is what is on your transcript. Let them do the math. Even though you won't officially convert your grades, you need to understand the logic of the calculation so you can estimate where you stand. Let's simulate how the admission officer looks at your transcripts. They're looking for two things, volume and trend. Student A has straight A's, 4.0, but only took standard classes. Student B has a mix of A's and B's, a 3.7, but took the hardest math and science courses available. Who gets in? Usually student B. Why? Because the GPA is not just it's not just a number. It's a significance of college readiness. Let's look at the math of the credits on hours. This is something many international students miss. Not all classes are created equal. In the US, a class that meets 5 hours a week impacts your GPA more than a class that meets 1 hour a week. Let's say you have a C in physical education, gym, and an A in calculus. If gym is 1 credit and calculus is 4 credits, the A in calculus pulls your average up more harder than the C pulls it down. So, when you look at your own grade, stop obsessing over every single number. Look at the core subject: math, science, English or native language, social studies, and foreign languages. These are the engines of GPA. Admissions officers often recalculate your GPA using only these core subjects to see your true academic potential. The importance, the threshold theory. Now, let's talk about the strategy. How important is the GPA really? I want you to visualize a gate. The GPA is the gatekeeper. For highly selective schools, Ivy Leagues and Stanford, MIT, there is an academic threshold. If your GPA is below a certain point, the gate stays closed. They won't even read your beautiful essay about saving kittens. They simply have too many applications. However, in this vital, once you're past the threshold, a higher GPA yields admissions returns. It's a 3.95 better than a 3.90? No. At that level, you're academically qualified. Once you cross the threshold, the decision comes down to your essay, your extracurriculars, and your letter of recommendation. So, if you have a 3.9, do not kill yourself about trying to get a 4.0 at the expense of your mental health or leadership activities. The 3.9 has already opened the gate. Now you need to walk through it with your personality. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room again: the bad grade, the C, the dip in year 11. Maybe you got sick, maybe your parents went through a divorce, maybe you just didn't understand physics. How do we explain this on a Common App? There's a section called Additional Information. This is your best friend. Here, in this formula for explaining a bad grade: context plus fact plus resolution. Do not say, the teacher hated me or the class was too boring. That shows immaturity. Do say, during the fall semester of the 10th grade, I missed 3 weeks of school due to pneumonia. Sorry, guys. This impacted my ability to keep up with chemistry. However, please note that in the second semester, I attended tutoring and raised my grade up to an A. See the difference? Context: I was sick. Fact: it hurt my grade. Resolution: you fixed it. Admission officers are human. They like resilience. A transcript that shows an upward trend, grades getting better over time, is often more impressive than a flat line. If you started out weak in the 9th grade but are getting straight A's in 12th grade, that tells a story of maturity. Own your story. We have covered a lot: the math, the weighing, the threshold, and the damage control. But I want to leave you with the thought: your GPA measures how you perform in a specific system at a specific time. It does not measure your intelligence, your creativity, or your potential to change the world. Universities use the GPA to answer one question: can this student handle the work here? If your grade says yes, then the rest of the application is about who you are. Focus on your trend. Challenge yourself with rigors. Be honest about your slips. And remember, you are more than a number on a spreadsheet. Now, go home, look at your transcript with fresh eyes, not with fear, but with strategy. Thank you, and see you next time.
Thank you so much, Catarina Miranda, for all the clarification. And if you want to successfully apply to university or college, or even win a scholarship, this is the right place. Thank you so much. Thank you, Katarina. See you
You're
later. Bye bye.